Hey guys. Hey Stuart, Mark, David, Dean Sykes, Bill Baggins, g'day. Dan Shed, g'day. Is it raining, Bill? It's a nice day here. Look, I don't think there's very much to add to this live stream, so we might finish it now. No. Look, I've moved. Got a place to stay. First rain in weeks, Bill says. That sounds awesome. We had a little bit, but I went south to New South Wales for the day and missed it. James B, good morning. Born with rain there, Mark Osborne says. Russ Knox, good day. Yeah, look, there's not much to see here. There's a room with a bed, etc., etc., etc. The main view really is the carpet. But yeah, some things to sort of talk about. But anyway, there's not a whole lot of news. I've got a place to live and it's pretty good, and there will be room for a small workshop and workbench, like a very small workshop and workbench. We'll see how that goes over time. It might, and there's certainly room for 3D printers. There might be some 3D printer projects, but we'll see. Anyway, still sort of unpacking. Like there's bags here everywhere that we're going to go back to the storage locker, and it's nice carpet, but this is just an Audi rug. Yeah, a nice carpet. Journeyman Randy, g'day. So that's what's happening. I sort of moved in on yesterday, which was my day off. Didn't achieve a whole lot. Slept like a log. Excuse me. Slept like a log last night because I'm back on my original old bed. Although something bit me during the night, so I'm sort of thinking it's going to get if it happens again tonight, it's going to get a pretty good sort of a detox before when I go to bed, go to work in the morning. Don't know what that is, but it's been in storage, so who knows. Matt, good day. Stephen Lang, hello. Anyway, so that's what's happening. I moved in. I've got a drawing table. That's kind of about all I have got at the moment. Some sketchbooks. Everything else is sort of set up. Oh gosh, excuse me. Blink and you missed it. So what's the news? The news is that I found a place to live and I've moved out of the mezzanine at my mate's place, which was pretty ordinary, to be honest. Not so bad, but it was not. There's no space for a workshop or anything else. And moved in with another friend who's awesome. And it's also the right place, right price, and it's fairly relaxed here. It's a little bit further to walk, but a bit further to work, but we can handle that. There's things we can do. There's a train from about 15 minutes away, so I drive 15 minutes and jump on the train, which is another 15 minutes. So it's really not a terrible commute. And same coming back. I only got home late tonight, but that's pretty normal on Wednesdays. Yeah, pretty pretty normal to be home late Wednesday night. I didn't get back here till about 7:30. I cooked some dinner. Managed to set off all the smoke alarms for the second time. Not doing so well with the smoke alarms. At least I'm not smoking in my bedroom. That's where we're at. But want to concentrate a bit on some artwork from here, I think, and some roller parts, and maybe a couple of projects that I've got in mind. The scooter will probably get some use. Fair call, Mark. Hope to get it sorted out. I've still got to sort of test the waters with keeping it here and stuff. Anyway, shop possibilities. There'd be room for a large lathe and some workbench. So at this point, probably yes. There's a lot of jobs I can do with that equipment. Yeah, that's right. You need it. You need to open a window, and all the best people know that. But yeah, they're pretty good smoke alarms that you just installed, and they're pretty sensitive apparently. I haven't managed to cook anything without setting them up yet. Anyway, so that's what's happening. Got the bench set up here. We don't as yet have any sort of tablet holder again, which is a bit of a problem. But we're working on it. I've got 3D printer set up, so we mightn't be too far away. Next week, I hope I will have. But until then, we're shaky. But I have got my old bed back, so it's way, way, way more comfortable. Pick this up by way of interesting news. Lights and candles, they sort of burn smoke, Bill says. The expert speaks. Thanks, Bill. This is brand new. And it's the second set I own, I think, in this series. So it's proper plastic packaging, and it's got a leaflet with it. Stainless chrome steel. In rust-free chrome steel. RZ23. Which is the right leaflet for this set. It's a 23. There we go. But they're all most of the sets that were available. I know there were parts available separately because I've seen those. Hey, Raymond. So the 23 is this one, which isn't big, and it's got a piece missing, which annoys me a little bit, but we managed to negotiate a better price because of it. So if anyone's got the little circle paper protector that goes in this set, I'd be pretty keen to hear. This is a cast aluminium case. Pop this out here like that. And the piece is missing from here. But I reckon this is brand new. It's got a little tin of leads, and it's got some pins and nibs. It's got the screwdriver. And a bigger compass, another pin. So a couple of lining pins, and divider attachment for the compass. And pin attachment for the compass, another pin attachment for the other compass, another divider attachment for the other compass. And a tin. That has a special name, but I can't think what it is, the name for this tin. I should know that. It's something that was drummed into me all my apprenticeship. But I can't think of it at the moment. but it's got all the bits in it. Looks like it's never ever been opened, to be honest. They're all nice and sharp. There's a short pin end and a long pin end on the stainless steel box. So that's pretty wild. That's Wild Hebrew, which is pretty nice stuff. They mostly made surveying equipment, but they made some nice drawing gear as well. And it's sort of a particular love of mine, so it was nice to pick that up. Something's popped out there. It isn't sitting in properly. Where is it? That's what the problem is. And then it all close. There we go. So that was a bit of a pickup this last little while. This was my Christmas present, I guess, for myself. They don't come up very often, and you've sort of got to jump on them when they do. I've got another set which I think is a 34 or something like that. 32 maybe. That's in storage somewhere. So that's one of the things that I've picked up in the last little while, which you may or may not be interested in. What else? I've got a set of books to do some actual study for a boiler attendance course in the next few weeks. I need to get onto that. There's not really a whole lot of that happening at the moment, but there needs to be before very long. So that's something else I need to do. Anyway, apart from that, been to work today. It was a pretty crazy day. What else has happened? Yeah, the whole course for the boiler attendance course, the reciprocating steam engine course, is getting close. That's on the first week in February, so I'll be away for most of the week. I'm honestly not sure whether I've got the whole week, but I know I've got Monday or Sunday through till Thursday anyway. Whether I've got to be back on Friday, I'm not 100% sure on that, but well, we really are trying for the whole week. We'll see. And yeah, I'm probably going to be a bit out of pocket on that course, so I need to put some money in the bank as well. Laptop feels like it needs a new battery. I bought a Alienware Dell Alienware laptop, a fairly big one, fairly recently. It's a few years old, but it's a pretty good laptop. But it seems like it might need a new battery in it at some point. So at some point I'll do that. That's another thing that's on the list of things to do. Got my film camera here. Might try and get some photography done. That might be a thing that we could do in the next little while. Well, I haven't got machines, but Anyway, we're probably going to get fresh roadkill anyway, whether we like it or not. I think that's just normal down there. So, work on the sawmill is sort of continuing. I believe Marcus should, if he's a man of his word, have the shaft and the pulleys finished today. I don't believe that's going to happen though. Not calling him a liar. I just think that he's overestimated his workload or underestimated it. I just don't think it's going to happen this week. But if it does, I'll go and pick up the bits and we can have a look at them. Summer here, it's freezing. Mustnock says, yeah, it's summer here. It's pretty stinking hot actually. I believe that I'm getting the air conditioning installed here, which is going to be really nice, and try not to use it a whole lot, but it'd be nice to have some air conditioning. I think it's going to go sort of up on that wall. Haven't asked yet, but there might be opportunity to put some other on the wall here. Pretty good go. Microphone. Thanks for that. Thanks, Stuart. It's on the wrong side, and I get used to having a bracket, so I'm going to have to sort that out. Find a G clamp and make a bracket. And the last one broke in the middle of moving somewhere, so I might have to 3D print one up. Got the drawings and everything. It's pretty straightforward. I think I did a video on those. Anyway, I hope I'm back. So, here's opening up a can of worms, but something I'd like to start in again and do some work on. And this is just something that is of interest to me and something I picked up recently. So I'll just grab it. As like the kid is visiting his parents and visiting his uncle and auntie, and he's hiding in the closet, and because they come into the bedroom that he was snooping around in, and they and all of a sudden the car pulls up in the driveway and someone joins him in the closet. It's dark, isn't it? And whoever's with him says, "How much do you want?" And the kid says $1. So someone hands him $1. And gets out, and then he's at home, and He's in his mum and dad's bedroom, and the same thing happens exactly. And someone joins him in the closet, and he says it's dark, isn't it? And the kid, he says it's dark, isn't it? And whoever's with him says, "How much do you want?" And he thinks, "Oh, this is a pretty good deal." He says, $10, and someone hands him $10. So anyway, his old man finds the $10. He says, "Where'd you get this?" And he says, "Someone gave it to me." He says, "Well, don't tell lies. You'll have to go to confessional." So he goes down to the church, and he gets in the cupboard and closes the door. He says, "It's dark, isn't it?" And voice on the other side says, "Don't start this again." Anyway, I thought that was funny. Not particularly well sort of told, but I thought that was funny. Anyway, I like toys too. This is a oh gosh, what brand's this? Oh my gosh, I should have thought about that. It's American. It's 1930s, 1940s. It's pressed tin. It's pretty heavy gauge actually, which is why it survived particularly well. It's oh come on, I should know exactly what brand that is. Yep, slipped memory. It's not Marks. It's another fairly well-known brand that made mostly war toys. It's not a Hubley. It's I think it starts with M, but that's probably a red herring. I should know that. As well as I know anything, but I don't. Just tonight. It's got electric lights though. It's got 2 bulbs. One of them is missing. That screw into these bayonets, and it's got this insulated board across the back with a metal. No, it's not Markland. It's not Marks either. It's not Marks. It's oh gosh. No, should know. Got insulated board across here with a contact on the back. It's not Tesla either. Thanks Randy for that helpful input. This goes in here, and this hooks down in here, like so, behind these hooks. And we've got a switch on here. Now this isn't working because something's obviously dirty. Goodness gracious. Come on, it'll come to me in a minute. So when you push this back, what happens is that this contacts on the back of the terminal and completes the circuit round through the screw side of the bulb, through the bulb and back onto the other side of the battery. That's the theory. And you've got an electric light, so you've got an electric racer. Goodness gracious, that's stupid that I can't even think. Wyandotte, that's what it is. It's a Wyandotte. It's a Wyandotte racer. That's the name of the company. So it sort of starts with the M, except it's upside down. Anyway, this is pretty tidy. This one, I picked it up pretty reasonable at a market. Have fun with that. I'm probably the first to get off. The bed, that is. So that's a Wyandotte race car. Probably nothing like I would like to produce, but I think it'd go probably 30 years older than that and a little bit different. But it's a pretty cool toy. It really is. This is knocked up with a 100-ton press or more, probably 500-ton press. And as such, for small volume manufacturer, it's a little bit limited. But there are things they do, and I'm still very, very interested in this project. It's just that the last couple of years, nothing's happened, like many others. But it's a Wyandotte racer. They made mostly military vehicles, and particular toy guns Wyandotte made with pop guns and cap guns, things like that. But they made quite a series of trucks and cars, tow trucks and race cars and things like that. But they're out there. So there are a couple of cool little purchases over the last 2 or 3 months, 4 months or something like that I hadn't shown anyway. Thought you might be interested in, because we're trying to pad this out because there's nothing really to show you in this bedroom. And this is also a bit historical because I think it's the first live stream ever from my living quarters and probably be the last. But anyway, might not be either. Bent the wheels out. Need a little Unimat in here. Look, there's room in the back workshop for a launch, so at some point that'll come out here, and I've got the gear to move it. It's not a big deal. It's just a matter of getting on and moving it. And this week I really couldn't be bothered. Not feeling it. The next 2 or 3 weeks are pretty full on, so I'm not going to be really doing a whole lot of actual machine removing. But I would like to do some projects. There's a dozen things that I'd really like to get done and finished on the launch. The little things that probably just lathe jobs and mill jobs. We'll see how we go with that. How far away is my stuff stored? About 3/4 of the way to my workplace, which is, if I drive, it's about 40 minutes, which is quite a distance. But if I catch the train, it's much shorter than that. Wintoy, yes, that's correct, Paul. Hey, John, are you left the country yet, or are you still in Sydney? Or maybe you're in Canada enjoying the big freeze or whatever it is, or the small freeze or whatever they're having. Craig must have gone to bed. He's not present here on the live stream. He did say he got home. Hey, Matt. Good to see you before you go walk the dog. And David, g'day. And it's obviously cold in Spain as well. And Chirps, hi. Yeah, nice update on the steam plant, John. It's looking really nice. Can't wait to see it actually running. It must be getting very close if you haven't already tested it. Everyone's gone quiet. John's still in Sydney. No, not on the beach. We're just on the bed, actually, looking at some new toys. Or old toys that we picked up and I've just sort of moved, haven't shown in live stream on account of their volatile content. You can't put it off forever, John. So this is a pretty clever pressing, actually. Wouldn't like to even start thinking about the dies required to do this. But it's a pretty nice looking thing. Can we see that? This is actually pressed over here. And here it's cut out to size, I guess, with a big punch, and then it's pressed over to wrap around there, and this one's the same. With a crease through here or a join through here. But yes, I believe that it's probably, no, it's not all in one. Oh, it could be. Yeah, it's absolutely all in one piece. Interesting. If we look, it's joined through here, or it's got a separation there, so it all comes down together. This is folded around here, and then the wheels are pressed up in one piece. I think it's only one sheet of tin, except the lever's different and the light frame's different, but the rest is just one piece of tin, which is very, very clever. The wheels are obviously rubber or plastic, and then there's two axles that go right through with the ends riveted. But the seat's folded up as a strengthening rib. There's some pretty clever draftsmen and engineers and things who drew this out and developed it up and made it work. I guess maybe they folded it up and made it work and then flattened it out and translated it. But either way, it's pretty crazy sort of a job. There's a little rivet on there, an eyelet that holds this light switch. That's the light switch, which works on that side of the battery, like I said before. And then there's this fibre light bar with a metal piece through here, this metal spring on the front. And these bulbs screw in here. And contact out on that page, on that contact strip there, which in turn contacts through a rivet in the centre onto the positive of the battery, and then the negative grounds out through this switch and back out through the body. Made in New York, I think. But obviously someone, to make that, and they must have made thousands of them, but even the press die, can you imagine the press die to knock that out so that it looked like it, just to even punch it without folding it all up. And it's heavy enough gauge tin, I guess it's probably 0.8, something like that. Might be a bit heavier than that. I think it's about 0.8. So there's plenty enough meat there for strength. But look at these ribs in the sides here. I guess it's got to be done in multiple operations, like these ribs and this rib through here, because they're vertical. Have probably nearly got to be put in first. Then I guess the body's folded up, and then the wheels or the wheel arches, I don't know whether they're done first or not. I'm not sure. I don't think they could be done first because they'd get in the way. A lot of them, like a huge amount of these sort of toys, had the electrics and would fallen out like years and years and years ago, and the wheels are all cracked up years ago. Nearly all the parts are available for these, except the bodies, if you want to restore one. It's obviously a fairly big hobby in some parts of the world, but pretty clever bit of tin work actually to make a really plausible, nice little race car, and it's functional too. It's got electric light. How good's that? I'd say it's got some old like race car heritage, definitely. They must have done the maths and decided that that's what sold, because someone spent an awful lot of money, I would say, developing that so that it went to production. Crazy amount. Pretty simple. It's never had a steering wheel or anything like that. It's just got a windscreen and a light lever. Anyway, how's the transit going? Good question. Pretty well. Could do with a service probably at some point. I'd like to get it serviced before I go down to Dan's, to the resitting the boiler attendant's course. Excuse me. Setting the boiler attendant's course at Dan's in the first week of February, and I'd like to get it serviced before then, but we'll see how we go with that. Find some cash for that. It's not aerodynamics. That's just to give it sort of an idea that it looks like it's going fast. There's an illusion of speed. It's not aerodynamics, and everyone knows that goes the other way around. But Yeah, the Transit Mart's done a fair few miles since I've owned it, actually. 3,000, 4,000, something like that. It's done a few miles. So it's just everything in here's got function, and all these curves are designed this way so that they're easy to press, I think. Yeah, Amazing Stories for Boys from the cover. Exactly. That's what it reminds you of. It's just got that high, the picture of it needs to be from a very low angle here so you can see it with the road winding off behind it and someone with no hat, or they're waving their hat or just lost their hat. And yeah, wheels spinning flat out, and V12 or something rumbling. So that's the images it conjures. It's what it reminds me of, is the sort of cover of the book or the cover of the box. If we do build a boy racer, I'd like a box that's got that sort of artwork on it. Looking at Martin, I think they must be pressed in first. I reckon. I don't know. Maybe they had a press and they just put it in there and went chunk, chunk. But you would have to have two presses to press it in afterwards, because this one here would be the other way around if you use the same press. So I've got a feeling that's sort of the first operation after the bit of tin's been cut, is this strengthening rib here and the louvers. See, this is more interesting than you think when you start looking at it, because this has got to do like a split line down each side and then across the top here, and it's got this cut out of it, which has got to be pressed with a sort of a helix in it to screw a bulb into, so it's got a thread. And then this is here on the front here. That's where this piece here, which is actually bent this shape, is bent down from. So it's pretty crazy. The more you think about it, the more complicated it is. Probably, but it's pretty solid gauge tin. I mean, it's at least 0.6. It's probably 0.8, something like that. I reckon they require a fair bit of horsepower to actually form that up. Anyway, these sort of things interest me quite a lot from lots of different points of view, and particularly in manufacturing. Interesting. I don't know how the wheels are made. They seem to be split cast here. They've got a split line down through the middle, and they're sort of a white plastic. I'm guessing it's some early form of injection moulding. It could be, I don't know. And then this wire clip, which is actually goes in under here like this, and in under here like this, then folds up so that you can get the battery out. That's not Wintoys or Wyandottes' actual idea. This design for a battery was used in France probably 20 or 30 years earlier, to be honest. The D-cell battery. If you look at the history of the D-cell battery, that's pretty cool, actually. These things were around 1908, something like that they started making these. in sort of a standard. The original torch battery was 2 D cells, and then they made a compact one, which was the D. I'm not sure. I think it's a B cell was the long one. And this was the first standard battery, and it was the first standard flashlight battery, and it was well before the First World War. So that technology's been around for a long time. It was a normal sized battery for when you were a kid back in 1910. James is done fighting with Autospell, that's fair enough. Didn't you have carbide lamps back then? That's a bit mean. I had carbide lamps that we messed around with when we were kids, but they were pretty dangerous, messy, rotten things if you could actually get the things to actually make gas and then actually light. But not a big fan of carbide. Marsh Wildman, g'day. Carbide cannons. Good to see you, Marsh. Hope everything's doing all right in Sacramento. If for anyone to come in late, we're sitting in my bed on my new dig, so I've actually moved into a place. It's pretty basic. We haven't got a lot of stuff put out yet. I've got a drawing table and a bed, which will double the drawing table will double as a desk for a bit. Batteries for uphill, that's right. Is this something you can apply to the wheels to preserve them? I don't know. I guess this is at least 80 years old, probably. And it's not doing too bad. You can buy new wheels, but I probably wouldn't. I think this one probably live with the patina it's got. I would really like to get the lamps running or working though. And that means a little bit of silver, like steel wool and an emery board and a bit of a clean up, but it hasn't happened yet. Anyway, that's what it's all about. We haven't got a lot to share because I haven't got any workshop set up or anything else, and I haven't started any projects or got any projects underway. We're just here and only moved in yesterday, so everything's pretty clean and tidy and respectable at the moment. I have got some sign writing to do though, and some work to do, some prep work for that, so pretty excited about that. It's a share place, Raymond, in Crestmead, which is way out in the sticks. There is enough room probably for a lathe at some point, so that might be it. But it'd probably be enough to make some bits and to get some things going. So anyway, that's how it's working. No room for books. Hey, 624 Dudley, g'day. Yeah, dodgy text of doing a cover. It's a Kmart special. No library really. I've got a few books here, and I've got a little bookcase over there that when I clear all the junk off it, will probably have room for some books. There's 3 or 4 books that I've looked for several times since I moved in, or since I moved out of the old place, and I'll certainly get them here, but we'll see how that goes. We're going to keep some storage space for a while. Oh wow, marsh. That's a bit scary. You want to get that right. Yeah, get it all up to code. And sleep at night then. There's probably going to be room here for another bookcase as well, but I haven't even thought about that yet. Take care, Matt. Have a nice warm walk in the snow. Anyway, who's got new videos up? Who wants to shout themselves out? What's everyone been doing? Who's making stuff? Who's actually being productive? Bill put one out there. That was a few days ago, and it was a week ago. It was a very, very good video. On making knives and detailing backs and putting them together and all that sort of stuff. Stephen Lang has just finished a tool for his son. Mark's put a quickie up about ratchet straps. That might be interesting. Watch movement holder is an overrated device on all levels. Do I actually have one? Yeah, there's a fine line between being useful and being a clutter with watch movement holders. Got a couple of vintage ones that aren't too shabby and are useful sometimes. A lot of work I do, I've got to be honest that as it goes back together, it goes back on the case. You put the dial side together and the calendar or whatever it is, and get that all up and ticking over and running on a movement holder. And then stick it on the dial and put the dial in the case and do the rest from there. It's probably rough. Well, it's not rough, but it's a shortcut, and it's certainly a whole lot more productive and easier and simpler and smoother and less prone to get in the way than messing with movement holders. So there we go. Mark's fitted an engine yesterday. Matt Peterson's made a lantern chuck, but it needs something changed. Not sure if it's just too big a hole or he didn't get it very straight. And lantern chucks are kind of okay, but they need good threads on them and they need fine threads. I think is probably one of the important things. Road test video up on next Friday, Mark says. Take care. Enjoy walking the dog. Journeyman Randy's been insulating the shop and drinking beer. That sounds like an excellent sort of a way to spend winter. James liked it. You're allowed to like it, and it might be a very useful thing. Absolutely, I didn't mean to even go down that road, but just from my experience, it's not something I use as much as I probably should. Insulation's worth doing, absolutely. Quinn's Loco Boiler series is going great. Yeah, that's going to be nice. Getting the boiler done first makes it a little bit easier to finish, probably. I guess one project we could do here without too many shop tools is a locomotive boiler. Did we say that? Ooh. I just thought of that. Maybe that's the way forward. Generally, the half a dozen movements that on the movement holder thing, the half a dozen movements that I put together all the time, which are probably the ETA 955 series quartz and the Seiko 7009 slash 7S26 slash D36 or whatever the last one is. We've got dedicated holders from the factory, which is the way forward for all those, but it gets expensive. If you've got an idea that works, I'd be very keen to adapt it because it's sort of a difficult thing. Yeah, we could go back to feet. Hey, Peter. Oh, good to see you. There we go. Awesome picture of a couple of Danish-made duck feet shoes that are nearly past their use-by date, but very, very comfortable. And probably also bamboo socks. So there we go. There's the carpet. Give you another sort of a look around here. There's a wardrobe there and there's a door out that way. You can just see the knob sticking out. Covered up the microphone again, and I'm sorry about that. Little bookcase and a desk and a bed, and I'm sitting in the corner. So that's about it. That's all you're going to see. Anyway, so I might call this a night. Thanks everyone for joining in. Really appreciate catching up with everyone. It's good that you make an effort. There's no drawers yet, no. Only in the laundry basket. I could do with a set of drawers in here, and it's going to happen at some point, but we'll look around for them somewhere. I haven't got a set. I don't actually own a set. So there we go. Should be all right, and you'll hear a bit from us here, and I'll try and get some. There will certainly be some steamroller videos and some steamroller builds and bits that needed for that, and some updates, and probably for a little while there'll be saw bench updates, and there will be probably some art videos if you're lucky, and we might do some photography and stuff as well. But eventually we're going to have some machines here and downsize the storage space that we're using. Anyway, take care everyone. Thanks for joining in. Be kind to each other, and I'm going to say we'll catch you next time. I'm out.